Hey buddies, it's your girl AyChristene, and we're checking out Boy Scouts. It sucked. This is by Haminations. I'm really looking forward to this video because as a kid, I always wanted to be a Girl Scout so bad, okay? Did it happen for this little Jamaican girl? No, it did not. However, I at least get to live vicariously through his experience, but he says it sucks. So we're going to see what's in store. Links down below to become a member or patron to support the channel and get uncut reactions to TV shows, anime, movie, all the things. Let's see what's in store.
Bryson, your dad and I decided that all you boys are gonna be Eagle Scouts because we believe this will help prepare you for the real world, be a huge accomplishment, and help launch you into adult life.
No thanks. I don't like doing scout camps. It's too intense for me.
Are they? Ooh. She made it sound like you had a choice. Baby, you ain't got no choice.
Hi there. Hi,
You're too
I'm
close.
Bryson, and my parents forced me to occasionally sleep outside in the middle of nowhere and called it Boy Scouts, despite my massive amount of weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth.
Aww.
And oh boy, do I have some stories about it. But
Okay.
as a gateway, they had me do Cub Scouts. The best thing I could say about
There's
Cub
a couple
Scouts was
different.
that at least it was more chill. It was
Okay.
more like, okay, kids, today we're gonna do some bird watching.
What?
Learn to tie a
What?
knot. But then Boy Scouts were like,
Build an ice igloo and sleep in it, or you'll die.
Oh,
good luck.
My
Seriously,
gosh.
the scout camps were so lawless. The only laws we followed were the laws of nature.
Oh,
Why were
dear.
these adults giving 12-year-olds the power of fire? One year, when my dad was a scout leader, he woke up to see that the boys had started a bonfire and were jumping through it.
Oh,
Stop!
my gosh.
What were the boys thinking? We were testing our courage, Bryson's dad. We were also testing Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection. If any of us are too weak, we'll fall in the fire and die. The gene pool, making the next generation stronger. What? Okay, that kind of makes sense.
No.
All right, let me join in.
No.
Oh, looks like we lost one.
Oh.
I was eased into scouts at a thing called Cub Scout Day Camp, where you would show up, do activities as a group like the Rain Gutter Regatta, Duck Duck Goose, and tying knots.
I
Then
like
at night, your
the
parents would
regatta
pick
looking
you up
thing.
and
It's
take
pretty
you back
cool.
to your air-conditioned house. So you didn't actually have to sleep in the dirt.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember being so jealous of the kids who had Lunchables. I was sitting there with a BLT sandwich with apple slices, a homemade cookie in the shape of a heart, and a handwritten note from my mom telling me how much she loved me. And meanwhile, Tyler had this. What a ripoff!
Oh,
but now in retrospect, I'm
Lunchables.
grateful that my mom cared enough to pack me a lunch.
Yes.
One activity we did was we were going to learn how to make paper from like only stuff found in nature. We were gonna be the Bear Grylls of paper making. I was so
with the
excited
pea
to
cup.
learn. But then we got there and they said, "Okay, class, here's how to make
This
homemade
voice.
paper. First, grab
This
some toilet
voice.
paper, get it wet, mold it into the shape you want, let it dry, then you've got paper." Like, excuse me? That's like saying,
Here's how to make a chair from scratch. First, grab a chair, and voila, you've made a chair.
Oh my gosh.
One useful thing they taught me was how to safely carve wood with a knife. Always aim the sharp end away from your body, and then stick the sharp end into another scout to conquer them. I was cruising through the Cub Scout ranks. Tiger, wolf, bear, weebelo. Still don't know what that is. But then I had to evolve from a fun, relaxed Cub Scout into a
Hard, manly Boy Scout.
that
and
just
that meant
murdered
going on
someone.
campouts where I had to sleep in the wilderness. Dun, dun, dun. Going on scout camps was really scary and anxiety-inducing for me. I was a really sensitive kid, so even just one-night camping trips were a nightmare for me. I was small and weak, so I couldn't hike as far as the other boys.
Well, you see
I
how
had gone on
thick
a few
backpack
one-night
them
trips begrudgingly, but when
peoples
they
were?
announced a week-long backpacking/camping trip, I begged my parents to let me stay home in the air conditioning and indoor plumbing. After much deliberation, they finally said I could stay home. I was so relieved.
That's
but
good.
then I stupidly tried to push my luck. This was around the time that the Nintendo 3DS was the hot thing that I desired more than anything in the whole world. So I asked, Mom, Dad, can I get a 3DS, please?
I'll buy you a 3DS.
Really?
Lazy as the mom.
You go to scout camp.
No! Can't you just get it for Christmas or something?
Oh.
If you want one, you need to go on this scout camp. Show us how unreliant you are on technology, and in return,
Oh.
we'll buy you more technology.
This was
That's
such an ordeal for little me.
a
I wanted
unique
the 3DS so much, but I
sell.
despised Scout Camp. My mind raced trying to figure out a solution.
What are you gonna do, little ham?
Maybe I'll mow people's lawns for money and do lemonade stands. I'll save up the money to buy it myself.
No!
Oh.
If you don't go on this scout camp, so long as you live under my roof, you will never own a 3DS. I won't let
Never?
you buy one even if you earn your own money.
This was a huge blow.
What?
I was devastated, and tragically, this was during the time when I still thought adults knew everything. And for some reason, I assumed that Dad could actually enforce this outlandish rule. I was trapped. I had to go. My parents said that the only way I could get a 3DS was if I went on this trip. Your parents are buying you a 3DS for this? My parents forced me to go or I'd be grounded all summer.
Oh,
anyway,
wow.
you want some cold pizza sauce and cheese on a cracker from my Lunchable? And then, every morning, we woke up, packed everything up, and hiked for like 12 miles every day. Then
12 miles?
Again, and I hated hiking. Everyone was always like, what a great view. But I was like, the view is never worth it. But nowadays, I like hiking and views. Of course, my legs are so long now that I only have to take 3
He's
steps.
tall.
And I'm there. But back then, I had little legs. I was so small and weak that the other scouts had to help carry my stuff. And I still feel bad about it.
That's
I'm so
nice
sorry for
of
being
them.
small and useless, guys.
Aw.
I honestly wonder why I didn't get called a twerp more often. Because I was one. It was probably a good thing I was so shy and quiet, because if I had let my true annoying self shine through, the other scouts probably would have killed me with hammers while the leaders laughed and said, boys will be boys.
I
Ma'am,
hate
your son is
that.
throwing rocks at the other children's
Right.
heads. Oh, boys will be boys.
I
No,
hate that.
Teach
Thank
them
you.
how to not do stupid stuff.
Right.
Billy, stop throwing rocks and be nice.
Thank you.
myself just the way I am. Well, the way you are right now sucks.
Wow.
Do better. Try harder. No.
Oh.
You will
Oh, goodness.
learn respect, and suffering will be your teacher.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, as much as I bellyached about
That
it,
kid
having
deserved
my
it, though.
friends there to talk to made it pretty fun. Not
That's
to
fair.
mention being bribed meant at least one good thing would come of all this.
Right.
We hiked, sang, caught frogs, and made
Ugh.
a shelter out of sticks and bark to get our wilderness survival badge. Looking back, though, it
Can
was
you
funny how I
survive?
always wanted to do my own thing, regardless of what the other boys were doing. They all decided to go skinny dipping in a pond, and I
Okay.
was like, no way am I doing that. But then Travis lost his swimsuit in the pond and had to streak back to his tent.
Oh
And we
my
later learned
gosh.
that the pond had leeches in it.
Oh!
The other boys wanted to stay up and make s'mores, and the leaders were gonna teach us some life lesson about not swimming in leech-infested waters or something. And I
Oh,
was
dear.
like, no, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Then on the drive home, we stopped at a burger place, and our leaders challenged us all to eat a burger with 4 patties. But I knew my weak stomach couldn't handle that,
Right,
so I
right.
said, no thank you, and got a normal burger. And then everyone told me to go to college, and I was like, no, I'm gonna be a YouTuber.
Okay.
And then the IRS told me to stop committing felony tax evasion,
Oh
and I
my
said, try and
goodness.
stop me. That's a joke. I love paying my taxes. But I
You
did
don't love it, but you have to
finished
do
the
it.
trip.
I know.
Then I got home and was given a 3DS. Yippee!
Yippee!
I'm never going camping again.
Oh no.
The next big scout trip I was forced to go on was at this huge camp where tons of other scout troops would visit. We arrived and this older scout came up to us. He held out his walking stick, pushed me aside,
Oh
and
my
said, "Get out of
goodness.
my way." In scouts, there's a hierarchy among the boys where
Old
the older
boys?
boys are allowed to be mean to the younger boys. However, I also
What?
had a glaring physical flaw that always had me at the bottom of the list. I was small, so even the younger scouts could beat me up.
Oh
This
my
boy was an
goodness.
assistant leader at the camp, and it was immediately apparent to me that he was the type of guy to get 1 micron of authority and let it go directly to his head
Oh
and
my
abuse
gosh.
his power. But he was older, and that made him better than us,
Ugh.
at least in his mind.
And I
think
bet
it's really neat that
he's
you
a
earned all
boss
these
somewhere.
merit badges, buddy, but I think you're
Or a
missing some of the
manager
most
somewhere.
important ones. And those are the emotional maturity badge, the coping with insecurity badge, and the going to therapy badge, which is what I would have said if I had any confrontation skills. Instead, I kind of just observed his arrogant attitude and silently judged him, and then years later made fun of him online in a YouTube video.
Okay.
Who's laughing now? Anyway, the leaders took us to our campsite, and all of us slept in this rickety wooden structure filled with bunk beds. Then we went to a ton of merit badge classes and filled out packets. Great, we're just doing homework in
Right.
the woods. But at least we had some downtime to just play card games together.
Okay.
For one time, while we were playing, this one kid, Sean, somehow fell out of his top bunk,
Oh.
did a flip through the air,
Okay.
and slammed into the ground.
Ah.
Anyways, got any fours? No. I continued through the Boy Scout ranks reluctantly and
Is
against
he
my
okay?
will, and I had to get interviewed
Is he
to become
alive?
a Life Scout. But in case you forgot, I was a shy little guy. The Scout leaders asked me what I learned and what requirements I did and blah blah blah. Then one of the leaders said, "Can I give you some advice? You could work on your eye contact." Oh. And from that point on, I've been really good at eye contact. Sometimes being told to cut it out is the solution. Look at my eyes. Look at them.
See into my soul.
The next big camp was a few years later. I was 16 and the leaders were like, "Hey kids, today we're gonna learn how to shoot a shotgun." And
What?
this was at a point where I still thought adults had it all figured out, so I was like,
What?
okay, seriously, why were they letting 16-year-old boys wield shotguns?
What?
Luckily we were okay, but what if one of the boys was feeling a little rambunctious that day? Or if they let their intrusive thoughts win?
Oh
Young
my
boys
gosh.
don't understand consequences yet. I'm 22 and I still don't understand them. Anyway, they gave me the gun and threw a clay pigeon for me to shoot.
Oh my
I
gosh.
hit it! My very first shot, and I hit it! And then I missed the next 9 shots.
Oh.
10% ain't bad. It's better than most of my school assignments.
Oh
then
dear.
It came time
Not
to
how
do
is
an
this
Eagle
possible?
Scout project. So with a lot of help from my parents, I built some shelves to help my middle school organize their theater stuff. I had done it. I earned the rank of Eagle Scout. And
Okay.
now I love camping. I'm so prepared for
He's
the
lying.
real world.
He's
now.
lying.
Can we see your resume? And what experience do you have that you believe will help you excel in this role? I don't have a resume or any applicable
This is the same thing with school.
Check out this square knot, though. Honestly, though, I don't think I deserve this award. I can't even start a fire on my own. And I'm not very trustworthy,
I
loyal,
do
helpful,
wanna-
friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, or reverent. My mom was the one that pushed for it, and I
Oh
guarantee
my
you that without
gosh.
her constant help
He
with
is
merit
nice, though.
badges,
I'll say
camping
that.
gear, packing lists, and encouragement, I would not have earned this.
Loosely
She
saying.
also helped my 3 brothers earn their awards, and I guarantee you that she can survive in the wilderness longer than me. She's the real Eagle Scout,
Not
me.
the
And so,
fish
by the power
having
vested in
him on a
me by
harpoon.
me, I officially revoke my Eagle Scout status and I award it to my mom. The moral
Aw.
of the story is that it's okay for your parents to force you to try new things sometimes. Maybe you'll make a video about it later. Okay, that's all the time I've got. I've got to
That's-
get back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS.
Hilarious.
Hey guys, I'm sick right now.
Okay. Yep. That's where I end it. Okay, so with this, right? He's nice. All right. So don't let him fool you. He's nice. All right. And he's very cheerful. Okay. B, what he said about like making the nod about how this is something that they tell you will prepare you and it ends up not really preparing you, that is so on the nose, even with school nowadays, right? Because the issue that I have found with a lot of schooling, like the more we get in time, the less they actually teach you in regards to preparing you for day to day. You know, a lot of the math, like geometry, all right? How often are you going to use that in your day to day? And you know who can answer this best? I want every adult that has graduated high school, okay, to put down things that you keep that you learned in high school, okay? And I don't mean the life lessons of mean people, right? I mean the things that those teachers were paid to teach you, okay? How many of those things did you actually use in your day-to-day after you graduated? And how many of those things do you not use in your day-to-day after you've graduated? I'm waiting. There's so much that they don't teach you. And it's wild. I remember back in my day where you had to learn how to write in cursive and you had to learn how to write a check, fill out a check. I wonder how many kids nowadays that recently just graduated high school know how to write out a check. Do you? That's something that you need to know, because some places, if you don't have your card, you don't have cash, they take a check. That's something you should and then, or if you are a person that needs to write a check so you can get a cash advance on your check, on your paycheck, you would need to learn how to write a check. Those are things that you would need to learn. Although, albeit some people, some places will teach you what to do or tell you what to do. But as someone who had to do that, I was a AmScot girly, and you already feel a certain amount of shame going in there. So having them teach you how to write it, I couldn't take that shame on top of it. I couldn't. I was already ashamed of the fact that I had to be there repeatedly. Okay. So the shame of them teaching me on top of it was the shame that I wanted. But there are so many things that I learned in high school and even elementary school, that I don't use now. And I do feel like certain things are applicable to certain jobs. Like doctors need certain things, lawyers need certain things, engineers need certain things, scientists need certain things. But if that is not the path you are planning to take, then I think there are a lot of classes that can be removed from your curriculum. Very, in my opinion. Okay. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What would you add to school or remove from school to make it more of a teaching environment that will prepare you on how to succeed or live life? Okay. Me, banking, budgeting, goodness, the amount, there's no money literacy that is truly taught as far as a statewide or federal wide, curriculum. You may have a couple of areas that may do it, but it needs to be countrywide. Okay. Financial literacy would be one, which includes budgeting, having a bank account, opening a bank account. What do you need? Interest, savings, tax things. The way that nobody knows how to do taxes or how to approach your taxes, that's something that should be in financial literacy for sure. Financial literacy is where I mostly would, all my subclasses would be under financial literacy. I think that's very much needed. But let me know something that you think down below. Check out the links, like I said, to become a member or patron. I love you guys as always. And until next time, buddies, toodles.